Hey everybody, welcome to Questionable Lock. My name's Taylor Stahl.
I'm Sebastian Itachi.
And Carson is actually missing. We can't find him. So if you guys see him, maybe like send us a quick text or something. No, but he's actually just sick right now. Who
He's
knows?
sad from the Dolphins game and stuff, them
Yeah.
not being in the playoffs. But we wish him the best. He'll be back.
Yeah. He's just a little lovesick right now with the love-hate, situation. But anyways, talk about some football, talk about some playoffs. We have a big playoff game on Monday with Bama and Ohio State. Seb, what are you feeling about this game?
National championship feels just like another year seeing Alabama back here. Obviously, they took care of Notre Dame, 2-touchdown win on last weekend. Ohio State, a little bit surprising, takes down Clemson pretty handily, 49-28 in that game. Justin Fields goes off, puts the ball everywhere it needed to be. I think he was 22 of 28, something like that. But now these two teams, Ohio State, a lot of people weren't super hyped on them, obviously only playing 6 regular season games, but they come in the line. I believe Alabama's favored by 8 points.
Yes. Yeah.
The Buckeyes are plus 245 on the money line. It's really hard to pick against Alabama. Obviously, Najee Harris, Heisman winner Devontae Smith, Mac Jones also as quarterback, Heisman nominee. So they reload, they restack every year. But the way this Ohio State team is playing, I think it's really good value to maybe just throw $10 on them, plus 240, $25 win if they end up getting the dub there.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing really well. Obviously, you beat a team like that, Clemson at full strength, blow them out. It's going to be a good one. I got some Alabama friends, and they're doing a little bit of convincing on me to pick them in that game. But I like the Buckeyes, and I think they're going to keep it close at the very least.
How do you feel about the whole what happened after the Clemson game? Like all of the talk about Trevor Lawrence versus Fields, and like who's like, is Trevor Lawrence losing his like first pick, in the draft spot, or like is Fields gonna get the Heisman? Like, how do you feel about all that? Do you think that one game really changed that much?
No, I mean Trevor Lawrence is the number one pick. I think even if he didn't come back after the COVID stuff, he would have been the number one pick.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't have his best game last week, but still played well, didn't tear every bone in his body. So he should be the number one pick still. If I'm the Jaguars, they need a quarterback. They need a guy to take them back to the promised land. But a really good showing from Justin Fields. He didn't show it last year when they played Clemson, obviously. Didn't have the best of games, but they take care of business this year, and it's Big Ten SEC final, which, maybe a lot of people weren't expecting. But
yeah. I mean, how do you feel about this over? It's 76 for the over under.
I don't know, but it's tough because it's a national championship. You would expect their defenses to lock down, but their offenses are so explosive, that it might just be who's going to score more points.
Honestly, I don't know why, but the under kind of just like seems appealing to me. I know on the show we go by the real men don't take the under, but it's 76 is like definitely I feel like that's one of the highest this year in
a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, if obviously Ohio State 49 last week, Alabama 31. Notre Dame defense very solid, very good, but 75. It's going to be right around there. I think that's how they do it. They're perfect at getting it right around the mark. So.
I don't know. I'm super excited to see this game. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be whoever wins. It's still going to be a huge upset. I think the whole country is probably going to go against Alabama again because nobody, everyone wants it. Nobody wants them to win anymore. Everyone's over them winning, even though they didn't win last year. I just don't think anyone will ever want them to win again.
Yeah. I agree on that. But they are extremely talented. Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, like I said, pretty much unguardable. So we'll see what Ohio State has planned for that. Heisman winner and arguably the best running back in the nation with a very solid quarterback behind him that's a lot to handle. So wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if Alabama gets the dub, but at -8 and plus 240, Buckeyes looking like pretty good value for now.
Absolutely. We got playoffs in the NFL too. We got playoffs in the league, playoffs in college.
Football everywhere,
Yeah, football everywhere. Huge games, lots of money being put on this weekend and on Monday. Like, this is a crazy. I'm in Vegas right now, so this is going to be a crazy weekend here of betting and numbers and stuff. So make sure you guys pay attention to Vegas because Vegas is always right. But we're we're also the place to go
Yeah.
to. We're free.
We'll go into the Rams game first. Obviously, LA. They're playing the Seahawks. Usually you'd be pretty hyped to play a division rival. I feel like, a team that you're familiar with, that you know what they're going to run. But Rams, how inconsistent they've been all year. The last time these two teams played, the Rams looked really bad in Week 16 with Goff, who may or may not be back this weekend. It's unclear, surgery on his finger or thumb, something like that. I can't really remember for sure right now. But with Wolford back there, you really can't be picking the Rams right now. Obviously, their defense can keep them in the game, and Seattle is a team with a lot of experience, Super Bowl experience, obviously, and this isn't a game they're going to take lightly. The line right now, I think Seahawks spread is at -4.
I think 3.5 right now. I honestly like the +3.5 for the Rams.
Going up and down. I don't know. I love the Rams, but the Seahawks have looked really good I think they've won 4 in a row. Their defense has stepped up. Russell Wilson, still hasn't played up to his full ability like he was at the beginning of the season, but extremely good quarterback. You got DK. Like I said, that defense, which was really the issue for them in the beginning of the year, they kind of sort of figured it out. I think the Rams are going to be very ready to play. They usually play good against these good teams and then struggle against the bad teams, but the Seahawks really handled them in Week 16, and they got to be feeling good about this playoff matchup that they have. Starting quarterback is out. A team that's kind of on the struggle right now, and the way that they're playing, I think it's really hard to pick against the Seahawks, even as a Rams fan. So I'm going to stay away from this one.
Right.
So I don't bet against the Rams.
I mean, if anything, I really like the over in this one. I like it's set at 42.5 right now. I think that the
Rams can score enough. That's the thing. With no Goff, who knows?
Yeah.
And not that Goff is like the answer or anything, because
we've talked about him plenty on this show.
That's a very experienced playoff quarterback. John Wolford, or the guy who's going to start for us, first start in the NFL last week. So going into Seattle, you're playing a team like that.
And Russell Wilson,
you need your dogs. Yeah, so
it's definitely going to have some crazy adrenaline, though. That's
very hard to pick against the Seahawks, but I do trust the Rams defense. I think it's going to be a good one, so I'm just going to stay away from this one. But go Rams.
Yeah, go Rams.
Go Rams. Yeah.
Okay, but what about? Let's talk about the Washington football team and Bucks.
Tampa Bay, yep. So Washington, not sure most of you guys watched Sunday night. They beat the Eagles to keep the Giants out of the playoffs after the Eagles with some questionable, I would say, benching decisions of Jalen Hurts. A lot of Giants fans mad. Nonetheless, though, Washington, I believe, 4-1 in their last 5 games since Alex Smith took over. Comeback player of the year, comeback player ever. Huge respect for him. But in this game, he's playing the GOAT, arguably, and a Bucs team that has looked very good the last couple weeks. I'm not sure how Mike Evans is doing. Got injured in their last game, Week 17, but right now we're looking at the Bucs -8. I think that the Washington defense has been great as of late, but Tom Brady in the first round, a team, a matchup that he knows how to take care of. He doesn't want to – this is a guy that knows exactly how to get by these games, get through these games, and -8 is a lot, obviously, for a playoff game, but it'd be tough to pick against Tom and the Bucs. They've been so explosive offensively, and their defense is figuring it out as well.
If I bet on sports, I would hammer this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about betting on sports all the time, but don't like putting my money where my mouth is just yet. But if I did, I would hammer this game. I'd hammer the spread -7.5 for the Bucs right now. With Tom Brady, come on. I mean, the fact that this is even a playoff game is kind of surprising to me.
Well, the NFC East, we see how bad they've been the whole year. I think the Washington, they get in at 5-11, something like that, 6-10 maybe.
So,
but like the Bucs coach Bruce Arians said, since they got Alex Smith, they've been a much different team. I don't think they have the offensive firepower at all to keep up with the Bucs, but their defense has been very, very good.
Yeah, facts.
It's just, Tom Brady, I'm sure he's going to be ready for that. It's going to be very hard to pick against that one. CJ also has the Bucs in that game. Obviously being it's still Florida, so I'm sure
we all know CJ.
Yeah, but we're gonna ride with the Bucs on that one. I'll questionably lock that one in. -8 for the game is always tough, but
that's my questionable lock for the week for sure.
Yeah, and
so
then
definitely have to check in on Monday for that one. And then Ravens and Titans.
Yeah, Ravens Titans matchup of last year's divisional round. I think the Titans ended up beating the Ravens surprisingly after the MVP season that Lamar had. They're back at it again. I think the Ravens are the 5 seed and the Titans might be the 4, or the Titans are the 3, I believe. And Baltimore looking really good right now. I think they're favored actually by 3.5 points in this game, which is a bit surprising to me. I think that the playoff time comes and it's time to run the ball. It's time to pound the ball. And literally no one is better than Derrick Henry and the Titans. He is so unlike any of his runs, even last week, just throwing guys off left and right. Tannehill has been, I think, a top 10 quarterback in the league this year and last year, honestly. The decisions he's making. They have A.J. Brown at receiver, making big plays. So this is a very good Tennessee team. Obviously, they've struggled a little bit to get the results they wanted the last couple weeks, but the Ravens, so explosive offensively. It's really hard to want to bet against Lamar, but the way that Derrick Henry runs, the Titans' experience winning this game last year, I think you got to take the Titans to cover the spread in this one. And it being 3.5, that's more than a field goal. It's not 2.5. They can lose by a field goal and you still make money. So I'm going with the Titans for this one.
Yeah, I would have to agree on that. I'm honestly Derrick Henry is absolutely just demolishing that the field this season, and just I'm super excited to see this matchup for sure. But I would have to agree. I think I'd have to take the Titans on this one. I didn't think that the Ravens would be favored in this. I kind of want to know the reasoning. I
think because honestly, I'm not 100% sure. The Ravens have been playing very, very well. They just, they beat Houston 41-38. Houston obviously not great, but still a talented team.
Right.
They've won 5 in a row. The Ravens have and these two teams played earlier this season. I think it was week 11, and the Titans won in Baltimore. Not sure if there's going to be fans there. I don't think so. But Derrick Henry, the way he runs the ball, the experience of the Titans against this team specifically, I think it's just, the Titans defense has been very, very bad. Like I said last week against the Texans, they're allowing 400 yards a game, I think, during the regular season.
Yeah.
If there's anyone that can take advantage of that,
Derrick Henry.
It's Lamar. No, I'm saying the Titans defense is
Oh.
There's why I think that the Ravens might be favored in this one. The Titans defense has just been really, really bad. But the way, like we talked about, the way Derrick Henry runs the ball and the way the Titans play, I think they're a very good team, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them cover. I mean, -3.5, you got to take the Titans.
I mean, yeah, and I think this is honestly going to be, we're talking about Lamar and Derrick Henry and stuff, but I think this is going to be the battle of who, like you said, the battle of who has the better defense at this point, because they're between the passing and the rushing yards on both teams, it's going to be a pretty solid matchup, and I think that it's going to come down to who can just stop it. Not even just how explosive you can be on offense. It's going to be how you can be on defense at this point.
I think it's going to be really important for the Ravens to get out to a good start. If they let the Titans go up 7-0, 14-0, and they let Derrick Henry start pounding the ball, wasting time, it's going to be very difficult for them. So they're going to have to come out with a lot of pace, a lot of speed. Obviously, Lamar, dual threat, J.K. Dobbins. Marquise Brown had a touchdown last week finally. So they're very explosive. We know what the Ravens can do. But I'm riding with Derrick Henry and the Titans this week. That AFC South, very solid. I think very underrated. So we'll see. We'll see if the Titans.
I'm sure if Carson was here, he'd play devil's advocate and try to talk us into doing something about the Ravens. But he's not here, so I'm also gonna take the Titans side on this one for sure.
I love Lamar. Also, just want to make that.
But very clear.
+3.5 for the Titans. A guy like we said in the playoffs, it's gonna who can execute better. And, hopefully the Titans defense doesn't give up another 400 yards or so. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Is there any basketball you wanted to talk about?
Just a lot of regular season right now. It's pretty difficult to bet on these games because they're doing you play a team twice within 3 days, which doesn't usually happen in the NBA at all. It's very baseball-esque. The Lakers played Spurs, day off, Grizzlies, and now they're playing the Spurs again. Mm-hmm. So obviously I like that. I think they're going to win, but it's a question of how hard are they going to try, if they're going to try. You have guys missing, like Kyrie tonight, missing a game due to personal reasons. KD out too.
Mhm.
So if you need a bet for tonight, hammer the Sixers. I'm sure the lines changed a little bit, but I was able to get them when it was pretty close. But it's really difficult to bet right now, at least for these first couple weeks, while we see how teams are kind of adjusting to this new regular season.
Well, then I think that's pretty much it for this week's show. Hopefully Carson will be found and back with us on Monday. We might wait until Tuesday to do so we can see the playoffs on Monday.
Yeah, I think
because that's a big game. We definitely want to watch that one. So good luck this weekend. Hope everybody wins some money. Sebastian, I hope you win some money as well.
Yes.
But don't forget to check out the tweets. I'm sure Carson and Seb will be live tweeting a lot of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Check out the website, and we'll see you guys on Monday, Tuesday.